Right, time for some vulnerability because I've been hiding. Which is ironic for someone with 26 years in metabolic health. 4 books, 28 awards, a community of 10,000 people, and more conversations about blood sugar and hormones than I can count. Because at the start of the year, I made a decision that turned out to be completely wrong. And today, I want to tell you about what happened, why it matters, and what's changing from here. At the start of the year, I walked away from almost everything I have ever built in the metabolic health world. I convinced myself that the market didn't want it. I convinced myself that women wanted business strategy instead. And so I pivoted completely. I closed out my programs, stopped talking about metabolic health entirely, and declared that that whole part of my work was dead to me. Classic Scorpio behaviour. But here is what actually happened. My clients kept revealing the real story of what they needed to me. They came to me for metabolic health, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, perimenopause syndromes, energy crashes, brain fog, and weight issues that made no sense, autoimmune issues, chronic pain. And of course, once we'd worked together and stabilised their metabolic health, they asked for help with their business, their planning, their systems, their boundaries, their capacity, because they could see that I was doing all the things that they wanted to be doing. They didn't want the business coaching from any old random person. They wanted it from someone who understood that a 3 p.m. crash is not a time management issue. It's all metabolic. By the way, if you are new here and this is already hitting home, remember to hit that subscribe button down the stairs so that you don't miss the new series I'm doing on metabolic clarity, GLP-1 alternatives, and building a business without burning out, overwhelming yourself, or sacrificing your health. Hitting that like, hitting that subscribe really helps the algorithm show this to the women that need it. So, if your confidence drops every time your cycle shifts, that is not a mindset flaw. If brain fog kicks in when you sit down to work, that is not a productivity problem. And if you're exhausted by mid-afternoon, even when you slept well, it's not a mystery. These are metabolic signals. Your body is trying to get your attention. And then, of course, GLP-1 drugs have exploded on the scene. People are spending hundreds each month on appetite suppression. Same old, low calorie, but this time with chemical assistance. And women were asking me if it was their only option. And of course, others are terrified for what happens when they stop. And of course, my work, I've been teaching women how to support natural GLP-1 responses since 1999. I've spent more than 20 years, nearly 25 at this point, helping women correct the systems rather than overriding it with pharmaceuticals. That is literally what the HOPE protocol does. And I'd stepped away from it because I'd grown tired of talking to a tired algorithm and not getting any response. So yes, I got my niche swing wrong, totally wrong, just completely out of the window. I had swung too far into the business coaching. I often use the metaphor of a pendulum. I went from here, I swung all the way over here, and I cut away the part that actually makes my business sustainable for women with complex bodies and real life demands. Because you cannot build a powerful business in a body that is running on fumes. Your metabolism is your capacity. Your hormones shape your clarity. And your blood sugar influences your confidence, your resilience, your decision making, and your perimenopause. It is all connected. So right now I'm rebalancing. The pendulum is swinging back to the middle point. I'm not abandoning the business content. The world needs it. I'm not abandoning the planning, the systems, or the strategy. What I am doing is I'm weaving my metabolic health back into the center because it's the foundation of everything that my work rests upon. Even my business coaching rests on having your metabolic health. Because if you are exhausted at 3 p.m. Or if you are curious about GLP-1s and the GIP drugs, but you want a fuller picture, if you are on them and wondering what comes next, because of course no one tells you about that bit, or if you're trying to build something meaningful and your body is just not keeping up, you are exactly in the right place. Hope Protocol, a system I created in 2017, it exists for this exact reason. It is a natural GLP-1 alternative that works with your biology rather than just bombing it senseless and overriding it. The protocol stabilizes your blood sugar, calms inflammation, it supports your hormones, and it brings your body back to a state where change is possible without crashing out. So once your metabolism is on your side, your thinking improves, your capacity improves, your confidence improves, and your business just gets lighter. Because of course our mind is part of our body, and how we do anything is how we do everything. So if this has hit a truth, or you've got any questions that you've been carrying for a while, or something that's just popped up, you can book a free 20-minute metabolic clarity call with me. The link is down there. We'll have a look at what's going on with your body, what's driving your symptoms, and what needs to shift. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this shift with me, because of course I am Nikola Howard, Life Alchemist, and I was put here on this planet to help all of us succeed without burning ourselves out, sacrificing ourselves, or overwhelming ourselves. And of course, metabolic clarity is a huge part of that. And of course, before you go, the next video is one that you will not want to miss, because I'm asking a question that many women are whispering, but they rarely say out loud. Is your doctor a trusted health partner, or have they been boxed into becoming a drug dealer for the system? It's not because they don't care, but because they are given only 10 minutes and they have got a waiting room full of patients and a prescription pad. So if you're living with chronic conditions, you probably know exactly what that feels like, and you won't want to miss what I'm going to say on it. See you in the next video.